welcome to another episode of Art Together. Today we're going to be exploring another element of art, and that element is shape. Shapes are flat. You can tell a shape sometimes because it has a line around it, and sometimes you can tell a shape because the color of the shape and the background are different. There are two kinds of shapes. The first one is usually made by humans, and it is called geometric. You would recognize these shapes as a circle, rectangle, triangle, square. The second kind of shape is called free-form or organic, and you often see those shapes in nature. Are you ready to explore some shapes? Let's get started. Wally, are you ready? Let's practice making some shapes. First, take a piece of paper and let's fold it once, twice, and 3 times. Open it up, and now you have 8 rectangles where we can practice different shapes. Shapes are flat, or sometimes they're called two-dimensional or 2D, and these are geometric shapes, and most geometric shapes are made by humans. We have square, rectangle, trapezoid, diamond, circle, hexagon with 6 sides, pentagon with 5 sides, a triangle with 3 sides. A star is another kind of geometric shape, and then there is an oval. The other kind of shapes are called free-form or organic shapes, and you find these shapes mostly in the natural world, and they do not have regular sides. Once you have your chart filled out, and of course you can have a lot of other geometric shapes other than these, you can do a fun game. I like to think of it as kind of a scavenger hunt, where you take your chart and you go around your house and you see how many of these shapes you can find. Every time you see a shape, put a tally mark in the box. And when you're all finished going through your house and looking for and discovering shapes, see how many different shapes there are and which ones you have the most of. If you have any quilts at your house, they are a good source of shapes. I went through my house, and here are some things that I found. Now I'd like to share with you some of my favorite artists that use shape in their artwork. One of my favorite artists is also a children's book author and illustrator. His name is Carle. You may know him from the books Brown Bear, Who Do I See? The Hungry Caterpillar. What he does is he first takes paper and he paints it. And then when the paper is all dry, he cuts it out and makes his collages. Making your own colored paper for collages can be interesting, and more interesting maybe than just using plain old construction paper in different colors. You can use watercolors, you can use markers to color your paper, crayons, oil pastels. Today I'm going to be using tempera paint. And remember, you're not making a painting now, you are just making colored paper, so it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, or if it makes a picture, you're just making the color. And you might make some lighter, and you might make some darker. It doesn't have to be even. It's kind of more interesting if it is darker and lighter and has some white shining through, some texture. There's no right or wrong to this. Mix the magenta and the blue. It has kind of a lavender color, and I like that. That was a happy accident. And then what I noticed that was kind of cool is that I accidentally dripped some spots on my yellow, and I actually kind of like that. So I'm going to go back and intentionally do that. Make some polka dots. And I actually might go back and take some blue and make some stripes. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's kind of interesting looking. And I like that so much, I might even go and do some cross hatching. Let's see. Remember cross hatching? When you have lines that go vertical and then go horizontal. And I don't know for a fact, but I might want to use a little bit of black in mine. So I am going to put some black down here. Right, now all I have to do is let this dry. Now we're ready to begin making our collage. The things you will need to have to make the collage are a background piece of paper, pencil, scissors, glue stick or glue, and of course your painted paper. I decided that I wanted to make a collage with pinwheels and a spring scene, so I'm planning out how to make the pieces. I realized that I probably needed to make a pattern for the pinwheels. So I took a piece of paper and I realized that a pinwheel starts with a square and then it has rhombus on each side, and sometimes we call rhombuses diamonds. So after I got the shape, then I traced around it, cut it out, and then I have my pattern. I decided that I was going to make 3 pinwheels, and so I'm putting my pattern down on my painted paper, tracing around, and then I will cut it out. Now that I have my 3 pinwheels, I'm going to take my painted paper and make the other things that are going to be in my collage. I find it helpful to cut the painted paper out into strips so that you have the different colors that are easy to cut out. Okay, I have my 3 pinwheels here. These are geometric shapes. And now I'm going to be doing some freeform shapes. I'm going to be just using my scissors. I don't need to use a pattern for the rest of them. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a sun. Take my scissors, cut a round piece for the sun. And then I will cut strips for the rays. Matisse called this drawing with scissors. When I get all the sun rays done, then I think I'm going to be using these stripes that I made as the sticks for the pinwheels, so I will cut those out. And then I'm going to be cutting some grass, and because it's a windy day, or I want it to look like a windy day to blow those pinwheels around, I am going to be making sure that the grass is not straight up and down, but looking like the wind is blowing it, so the grass will be slanted. And there we have some grass. When I have all my pieces, I'm going to be putting them on the paper just like I want it to look like. I am not going to glue down until everything is on here just the way I like it. Now comes the task of gluing everything down. I've got it just the way I want it on my picture. And so I'm just going to pick up a piece, take a glue stick, make sure that all the edges are glued so it sticks down flat on the paper. And I'll continue doing that with the rest of my pieces. And then you have a collage. I hope you enjoyed making art with shapes. See you next episode of Art Together.